murdered. Again.
My friend and I found out about the car September 8th, and my friend contacted David after, and he just responded with, "I can't say anything about that because I don't know what's going on. My car was stolen and I'm talking to the police." That was the last thing David said. As things started to come out online and the ID of the victim, we realized that the body that was found was his GF Celeste, the 19-year-old we met a few times after his shows, kickbacks, parties. One thing I can talk about that I'm 100% sure is that there was two Celestes because I've met them both and I've spoken to them both.
There's some things that came out. First of all, his manager supposedly commented on a TikToker's channel denying everything. Supposedly he got sent an email, and an email saying, hey, there's a underage girl that's staying at your house. The key card to the Tesla was found in front of David's house by a YouTube investigator. What's going on? This is Fugitive TV, and I'm your host, Ray Marcel. Welcome back. Well, I'm going to give you another update on this whole David situation. No one has got arrested yet. I know we're all waiting for that, right? But the report came out from the autopsy on Celeste. The report is telling us exactly how long she has probably been deceased for, and is also going to tell you the cause of death, right? So we're going to get into that.
And that the medical examiner is awaiting toxicology results. The certificate listed the manner of death as deferred, while the LA County medical examiner and the LAPD tried to establish how she died. LAPD Captain Scott Williams told TMZ that investigators are trying to determine if she was a victim of foul play or other causes.
The report just came out. So the report actually says that she has been deceased for a few weeks. You know, she was in that state for a few weeks. So she was found, I believe, in September. I believe it was September 8th. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But it was September 8th she was found, because I think September 9th was when they found that second body in the Honda Civic. Matter of fact, I have ChatGPT doing research for me right now on that second body that was found in the Honda Civic, because there is no updates on this whatsoever.
Inside of a vehicle, this time in South Los Angeles. The discovery was made at a tow yard called Al's Towing in South LA. And this time the human remains were found inside of a Honda Civic that is pictured above. The LA Times reports that the body, which was partially burned, was found on Tuesday, and it appears as though the back of the car is partially burned. The Honda Civic was logged as towed as of August 25th. The car is connected to a missing persons report, and according to the LA Times, this is being considered as a separate incident from the one in the Hollywood Hills, where just one day prior, a decomposed body was found in the front trunk of a Tesla that is registered to the artist David. David is currently on a world tour, but he has been cooperating with authorities. It has been confirmed that both of the bodies that were found in separate vehicles were that of women. The fact that two separate bodies were found within one day of each other in Los Angeles is so terrifying. Obviously, both of these stories are developing. There is not that much information readily available to the public just yet.
All we know, the car is registered to a Soledad Lopez, who was missing, but I can't find no missing reports on her. I can't find anything. They never even said the body, or they never even said who's the body that's in the trunk, if that is Soledad. Only thing I found was when I started researching the coroner's office. That's public. You can research who they found passed away and things like that. I found a person named Jonathan, I believe it was Belcher, and he was found on that same day, September 9th. He was found in a car unalived. And he was arrested for 2 prior drug offenses just recently, 2024 and 2022. So I don't know if this is him, but I said earlier, or in my other video, I said, how many people do they find, in one sitting in a day passed away in a car? I don't know. But I have ChatGPT right now doing some research. It looks like some research did pop up. Okay, it popped up. So, all right, guys. So the ChatGPT report came back, okay? If you know how to use ChatGPT deep research function, it saves you so much time. So this is what it came back as. It said, now remember, this is on the second person that was found in the trunk, okay? And which was not far from David's house. So it says, burnt Honda Civic tow yard case, Los Angeles, September 2025. So on September 9th, 2025, LAPD officers responded to Owls Towing in South Los Angeles, which is 1900 West Gage Avenue, and found a burnt blue 2007 Honda Civic in the lot. When investigators opened the trunk, they discovered a partially burnt woman's body. So they're saying that, so this is actually a woman's body. So the person I had in the other video, Jonathan Belcher, maybe that's not the same person because Jonathan's a man. So they're saying this one's a woman. Now, vehicle timeline. Records show the Honda had been towed into the impound on September 7th, all right? And it came from the 6800 block of South Fowler Street. After firefighters extinguished the fire, reported they did not open the trunk at the time. So they put out the fire but didn't open up the trunk. So the body was not discovered until the initial fire response. So authorities say this death is being investigated as a homicide as of late September 2025. Police had not identified the victim or announced any suspect. So the vehicle registration, the burnt Honda Civic, is registered to Soledad Lopez, and investigators tied the car to a missing persons inquiry. The registered owner in missing case, the Civic's registered owner, Soledad Lopez. LAPD stated the vehicle was tied to a missing persons investigation. Media reports that Lopez's family had filed a missing person report for a woman and traced that missing woman to the Honda. So I'm wondering how they did that. Now, they have not confirmed the victim's identity as still to this day. Other records apart from these news accounts, we found there's no additional media coverage. So ChatGPT scattered the whole internet and found no additional coverage on this case. That is it. But her autopsy came out, and the cause of death says deferred. So they're probably waiting on a toxicology report. I can't even say the word, y'all. They're probably waiting on that report, right? And on that report is going to see if it's got any drugs, or she had any drugs in her system, if she possibly OD'd, things like that. Because here's the thing. She was passed away for a few weeks. So in my last video, I showed the picture of the Tesla that was taken before it got towed. So in this picture, she's probably in the car in this picture, which is very sad. Most likely in the car in this picture that was taken, and we don't even know it. That's the sad part about it. Now, she was put in the front of the Tesla. Now, we do know that it was, it's California. It's always sunny out, right? It's in the sun. So the sun, and not only that, we all know a car, if it doesn't get any ventilation, it's an oven in there. So any person that's in there is going to be quicker for them to decompose because it's so much heat. So that's one reason how, or I should say that's a reason why probably it's hard for them to find out, because the body was in such bad condition.
With individuals that have been placed in trunks or have and then not found for a period of time, especially in a warm environment, you can have a significant amount of decomposition occur where the body begins to bloat or fill up with gases. It turns a discoloration of a green discoloration and almost gets a black color at some points. The skin starts to slip off. And this can obscure injuries, but it won't completely obscure gunshot wounds and knife wounds. It can actually make strangulations hard to detect.
Now, if you have, let's say, stab wounds, shot wounds, things like that, sometimes they can still see it. It just all depends on how bad it is. And then not only that, we all know, well, maybe we all don't know, if a body's been sitting there for a while, it starts to get it starts to get bugs, starts to get maggots, it starts to get, I think they're called blowflies, things like that. That's another reason how they can tell the age of the body is by the maggots and the blowflies. They can, because they start forming or start coming around at a certain time frame, so they can tell that too.
You are now talking about a very, very advanced technology, and it is forensic entomology, where the age of, for instance, a blowfly, a maggot, the age of the maggot can determine how long the body has been dead, because maggots or blowflies appear at a certain point in decomposition. So if they're 1 day old, 2 days old, 3 days old, if they have already laid their own eggs, that can give you a date of death. Did I enunciate that correctly?
Yes, the life cycle of a blowfly can be helpful in trying to help pinpoint the time frame in which this individual died.
Very sad to even think about that, right? It is, but it says deferred, so meaning we have to wait to see exactly, what's going on. Now, on top of that, Josh's, or I should say David's manager, Josh Marshall has came out and said something on TikTok, replied to somebody's comment. Now, this all started with an email, okay? A person claims that they emailed Josh. I don't know who this person is. If you guys know, let me know. A person claimed that they emailed Josh that there is a girl named Celeste. She's underage and she's living in a house with your artist, David. Josh is claiming he never seen this email. The person who wrote this email and sent it, they have receipts on that email, meaning that when somebody reads the email, it will say your email was read.
In there, I swear to God, I've been saying this to my boyfriend. I think Josh did it. Girltown responds, says, I think he's heavily involved. Josh Marshall, how dare you say something like this with no facts? Josh Marshall left a huge comment, and it says, this video is false and the person is misinformed. This is the only time I'll speak for this on this matter for now. This has been a tough time for my family as I'm a father of 3 children. I receive no emails and I'm no one's roommate. I live full-time at home with my wife and kids. My daughter is 14 years old, and this news is affecting so many lives. I've never received any emails. I have no knowledge of anything. I don't live in California. I also work remotely 95% of the time, and my job doesn't require me to have much interaction with any of my clients / David.
So they have a receipt saying this email was read. So if Josh didn't read it, who read it? Somebody had to read it if there was a receipt, right, saying that it's read. So people are wondering, and not only that, why would Josh come out and defend himself on TikTok out of all places? A lot of people are wondering if this account is even real. I was wondering that too, if it's a real account. Now, the account, if you dig and do your research, Josh is married and his wife has a TikTok account. Now, his wife is actually following the TikTok account that commented on somebody's video. So would she just be following some random person? That's what makes this interesting. So it would have to be him, right? Even though Josh doesn't have that many followers on TikTok. I mean, he's a manager. He's behind the scenes. So he's probably not. You're not going to see his face in the videos like P. Diddy and everybody else, right? You didn't even know he existed to David case situation. And David's a manager of a few artists. So that is very interesting that he maybe possibly left a comment on TikTok, declaring his innocence. Now, the LAPD did come out with a statement, okay? This is from the Robbery Homicide Division investigation into the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Now, my first question is, it says robbery homicide. Is this the same division as in they investigate robberies and they investigate homicides, or robbery homicide as in they investigate robberies that lead to homicides? The reason why I say this is because some cities will have 2 different divisions. They'll have a robbery, then they'll have homicide, then they'll have sometimes a robbery homicide. Now, if this is, let's say, robbery homicide, this is totally different now. This means that they think somebody broke into the house and was trying to rob the house and at the same time committed a homicide. That's what that means. Now, I'm not saying that's what this is, but I just have a question of why this is put that way. And I see robbery in the first, I'm thinking like, hold on, wait, do they think somebody did this that's not David? Now, it says Hollywood, Los Angeles Police Department, Robbery Homicide Division has been investigating the death of Celeste Rivas. Over the past several weeks at this time, we can confirm that Celeste Rivas Hernandez is deceased and her body was found in the front trunk area of a Tesla belonging to David Burke. Who is David? The vehicle had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks. So Miss Rivers Hernandez may have been deceased for several weeks before the discovery of her body. So that is what LAPD just came out with. Now, TMZ did release a video of Celeste arguing with her neighbors or somebody. Pretty much, it looked like it was probably down the street, because I've already looked at Celeste's house on Google Maps. So this might have been a place a little bit down the street. And they're arguing back and forth, right? And the one thing I give it up for the grown people who's in the video, no matter how they're talking to her, they recognize her as a kid, as a child. And they're telling her, you don't need to be around here. They're telling her to go back home. You don't need to be here. Go back home. Go back home. And I respect that part of the conversation that they're having with her, basically saying you're a child. You shouldn't be here in the first place. Go home. Let's take a look at the video.
You gonna let me talk? I ain't gonna let you talk. No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping. I ain't tripping. Nah, you tripping. How about you ain't tripping? You gonna let a woman talk? No, all right, I'm not gonna let your woman talk.
Why is she over here? Again.
Your little house, you don't even got a house.
Hey, bro.
You talking?
Hey, ain't nobody black right here, homie. We're Southsiders right here, homie. We're Southsiders here. Get it right, homegirl. Shut up with your black talking. Shut up. You talking like you black, girl, with your black talking. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't nobody black right here. What are you talking about? I said we're not black over here. Why you keep calling us? You keep saying we're not black. Hey, let it go. Go back to your house. You ain't gonna do nothing, bro. What you gonna do? You ain't no gangster. You ain't nothing, homie. What you are? What you are but a little girl? What you but a little girl? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I don't know.
You need to go home. Seriously.
I'm not Mexican. I'm Salvador and you tripping.
Oh my god.
Not because you tripping. Move the out of here.
You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit. You better get over there. Get your over there, little girl.
I'm over here, stupid.
Go there, little girl. You ain't gonna do shit. Go. Go. What are you gonna do, bro?
Go call her dad, babe.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, little girl?
Josh Marshall is married and he does have children, and this is his wife here on TikTok, Follow D. You can see the last post that she posted was a video of her and her husband, Josh Marshall, and she follows this account that broke their silence here on TikTok in the comments. Josh Marshall came on TikTok to deny allegations against him because the private investigator Stephen Fisher put out information that he allegedly saw some email from Celeste's family to Josh Marshall in 2024 of Celeste being a runaway minor because they thought that she was with David. Please use facts with supporting evidence when making comments. A few things that he does say that he really doesn't know David did have me a little confused, because as a business manager, I feel like you should know your clients, but that's neither here nor there. But we can verify that this is in fact Josh Marshall, and some of the things that he is alleging are turning up. You can look them up on the internet. The private investigator Stephen Fisher, who claimed that he spoke with the family and saw this email, took to his Twitter again yesterday saying that he saw this email once again. He said, since certain parties are now claiming that there was no email letter sent to Josh's camp, I confirm with the author of the email that it was sent and it does exist, and also confirmed that law enforcement requested.
There's always those. And not only that, there's two Celeste out there, right? So David was hanging out with two, one underage and one overage. And they both knew about each other, and they both were hanging around each other at the exact same time. So this makes things very, very odd and complicated.
If you're following the case of David, you need to hear this brand new information because it makes a lot of things more clear. So someone close to David posted this. It's a little long, but trust me, it's worth listening to. They said, so I have a friend who was friends with David and I was around David because of him. Heads up, it's a long read. My friend and I found out about the car September 8th, and my friend contacted David after, and he just responded with, I can't say anything about that because I don't know what's going on. My car was stolen and I'm talking to the police. That was the last thing David said. As things started to come out online and the ID of the victim, we realized that the body that was found was his GF Celeste, the 19-year-old we met a few times after his shows, kickbacks, parties. One thing I can talk about that I'm 100% sure is that there was two Celeste because I've met them both and I've spoken to them both. One thing about that, looking back, that I find weird is that when they were both in the same room, the older one called herself Cece. If one was there and the other one wasn't, she would call herself Celeste. I wasn't too close to David, but my friend was. He was always invited to the events or kickbacks at his place or his shows at hotels, and he would bring me with him. He was always surrounded by streamers and TikTokers, Mark's Fat and this guy Ben. Now when we would stream with other people at his place, he would pull Celeste the minor to the side and tell her he was going to stream and she can watch him in the room so the girl would go hide out. I specifically remember this because this happened during a tattoo party he threw, and there was a female artist and she actually refused to tattoo minor Celeste because she needed an actual copy for her consent form. And the minor Celeste was asking for a butterfly behind her neck like Cece, and I remember the artist kept saying no, and David started to get annoyed and told the artist that she lost out on the clientele he was going to bring her, and she said that was fine, she just has a policy like his NDA that she likes to follow. He tried to tell the artist that Celeste already had tattoos and she shouldn't worry about it because she's 19, and she told David, dude, I'm not gonna lie, she looks 13, I need the ID, I respect your NDA, please respect my policy. David just said okay, pulled Celeste to the side and told her he was gonna call his other artist later and that he was going to stream, so she should go to her room, she can come out when he is done, and he kissed her on the forehead, came back to the artist, apologized to her, and gave her a side hug. When David left, I asked the tattoo artist if this was the first time she's tattooed him, and she said no, this was her second time because last party a guy named Mark told her Celeste was a minor, but she wasn't sure if that was true or not, but if so, she wanted nothing to do with that stuff, and she didn't understand why the last party she came and that Cece girl was getting called a different name and couldn't remember what, but it wasn't Celeste. I tried reaching out to the artist but got no reply. I tried again recently but noticed she hasn't posted since November of last year, which is scary. Also, I'm hearing that the older Celeste is now claiming that she never knew or met the younger Celeste, and that's a damn lie. She always looked annoyed and miserable and always seemed bothered when the younger Celeste was around and she wasn't getting David's attention. It always seemed like a love triangle. I know David has family in Texas and I know he's from New York City, so maybe he's out there hiding, but let's hope Celeste gets justice and the older Celeste needs to be questioned because it's crazy odd that she's seen wearing a dead girl's clothes. She always gave me bad vibes.
The only other thing I could think of is that maybe David didn't do it. Maybe somebody else did this and it could be trying to, frame David, right? I mean, it could be possible. Let's put this in the front of the car and let's blame David for this. Could it have been the other Celeste? Could it have been some other guy that maybe Celeste was messing with? Could have been a drug dealer. There was a post on Celeste's mom's account with some guy saying he's seen Celeste and a bunch of other girls what looked like they were getting trafficked. So could it be the person who was trafficking her? Maybe, put her inside of there and trying to frame him. The only question I do have, this is my question, is for you guys that have a Tesla, there's only a certain amount of people that have access to your car. Either you can use your phone, like this right here, okay? You have your phone. All right, so you have your phone, right? Now, in my last video, I went inside because one of my cars that we have here is a Tesla. So I went inside and showed you how it works. So this is the app, okay? That's the app right there, okay? So when you go into the app and you hit controls, you see that? It's locked right now. But you see how it says open? I can click on there and it'll open up my front. I can click there, I'll open up the back. I can open up I could do all kind of stuff with this app. Not only that, when somebody opens my car, it's going to show me something's open. And not only that, not anybody can open your car. You have to have, first of all, not just the Tesla app, but somebody has to send you, it's an email link. So let's say you want to drive my car around, you want to drive the Tesla around or something like that. And I can do two things. I can give you the car key, which we're going to get into that too. I can give you the key card, I should say. You could take that and use that, drive it around. Or I can send you an email. You verify the link at your email, and now you have access on your phone to control my car. Those are the only two ways you can control it. So not everybody can just go, and here's another thing. Teslas automatically lock the doors. They close and the doors lock as soon as you walk away from the car. So it's not like the car was just unlocked sitting there. I'm pretty sure the doors, they lock. That's how most of them work. So I should say all of them work. Unless you put in a certain setting and you keep the doors unlocked. So it had to be somebody that had access, that he gave permission to that car by email or key card. And speaking of key cards, there is an internet investigator, a YouTube investigator, whatever you want to call him. He decided to go to the house himself. And you know what he found? He found a Tesla key card right in front of the house by the gutter. Now, it was raining. So people are wondering if that key card was maybe hidden in the gutter. Like, here's the key card in this gutter. If you got to use the car, the key card's right here. It could be possible. It rained and the key card maybe slid out the gutter onto the grass, but he found it and supposedly he turned it into the police. Now, the one thing I say he did was dumb is he picked it up, put his own fingerprints on it. Now he's messing with the evidence. People got to learn, man. You find something, do not pick it up with your hands. Please don't. But that's very interesting, right? That was found. I know I was going to make this video quick, but I had to wait for the chat GPT and everything to load up. But I hope you guys find this, informative. Like I said, I'm only going to bring you some facts that I find out. And make sure you like, subscribe. If I'm missing anything new, please comment. Please let me know, all right? Because what I'm trying to do is when I'm trying to give you the research before I even, put it out there. So like, subscribe, comment anything you want. If you have a case that you think I should cover and look into, let me know. Fugitive TV, I'm out.